This is the final cut, where we take one last look at all the evidence in a story, and begin to understand the mindset of its author. It's important for us to tame all the wild attractions that exist in the minds and fears of the reader. When a character becomes so real, they may cease to be a character, and become real themselves. Some attractions may try to deceive us, but we cannot take any exceptions. While made of plastic, and frankly, looking fantastic, it is up to us to determine the true story behind the attraction that is Barbie.avi. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Flea Circus. Before we begin, I should note that I have already covered this attraction in a previous performance. If you haven't already, take a moment to listen to the Scare Your Friends podcast, where some of my friends, I guess, read the story that was Barbie.avi. What I said about the story then still applies today. I believe that the attraction is worth a second look because it offers a unique experience to its onlookers. The video aspect of it was never covered on the podcast, however, and after viewing its contents, it has given me an answer to Barbie.avi. Now, the video is in 4 parts, with the third part missing or maybe never even existing. The video's audio matches what is described in the story, except for one crucial piece of evidence that is never mentioned in Barbie.avi. B-I-I-D. In the beginning of the 4th part, we see the subtitles B-I-I-D. It's not even there for 3 seconds, but it clearly shows up. When Googling B-I-I-D, the first result is a wiki page for a special disorder called Body Integrity Identity Disorder. B-I-I-D is also referred to as amputee disorder. Victims of B-I-I-D mentally believe that a piece of their own body doesn't fit with them anymore. This could refer to any body part, such as an eye, a limb, or even some of their own skin. She's uncomfortable with her skin. In more milder cases of B-I-I-D, victims have shown to be jealous of amputees or any person with any physical handicap. This disorder can be dangerous or even lethal in extreme cases when victims attempt to cut off pieces of their own body. Also, there is an image of the woman from Barbie.avi showing off what appears to be what's left of her right arm. So this is the final answer I have for Barbie.avi. I believe that the deserted home in question is the site of this woman's first operation to remove her right arm. The owner of the computer successfully granted her client's wishes, and illegally removed her right arm in the house. Barbie.avi itself is an interview post-operation conducted by the owner of the thrown-out computer, of the woman in question. The image from the video, which shows her showing off her nub arm, proves that Barbie.avi was recorded post-op. The woman in the video is being questioned by somebody about her issue with her skin, particularly the skin that she keeps pulling on her right arm, which is removed, but the nub that remains on her body is still bothering her. She wants the rest of it gone. That's why she keeps pulling on the skin from her nub and is crying. I believe that the woman went back to the house for a second operation to fully remove what was left of her arm, and something went wrong. The owner of the house botched up the second procedure, and perhaps fled the scene before she woke up. Perhaps there was no anesthesia, and she wasn't knocked out prior to the surgery. But even if the woman agreed to do that, she would have had to been restrained, possibly even tied down. When our protagonist from Barbie.avi stumbles into the house, the basement door, which looks a bit too new, is locked. The bathroom has been used recently to wash something that is still damp, and the dust from the mirror has been wiped clean, as if someone was checking themselves out, maybe to make sure that there was no evidence of his or her activities dripping off their clothing. After that, the person, or maybe even persons, involved fled the scene, leaving the woman from the video behind? Maybe. That same night, the evidence is destroyed by throwing the computer out a window in the middle of a bad area in Detroit. This is how our story begins. The protagonist finds it, and notes that the computer has been wiped clean of everything except Barbie.avi. It sounds weird at first, but maybe in their panic they forgot to delete Barbie.avi because of the amount of videos on that computer. I don't think the woman in the video was this group's first client. Regardless, a week later, the protagonist retrieves the PC from his girlfriend's car and watches the video. He goes to the house the next day, finds what he finds, and then hears a moan that is so scary and realistic that he jumps out a second-story window. The moan could have been the suffering woman from Barbie.avi. It could have been the drain pipes, as the protagonist mentions. Or maybe it's the moan of a different, botched surgery victim entirely. And finally, why would they call the video Barbie.avi? Because you can do many things with a Barbie. You can brush their hair, undress them everywhere, or maybe even remove their plastic limbs.